Make every night a wonderful journey, no matter where you are. Good night, sweet dreams. The first story, chocolate. I'm a large man. I suffer from diabetes due to my unhealthy choices when I was younger. Last year, I fell into a diabetic coma. I was fortunate that my coma was only 3 weeks, but unfortunately, I went into kidney failure, and I lost my left kidney, and even on dialysis I lost my right ring finger, my pinky finger, and even for toes. I had great doctors that saved my life in the hospital I rusted. Once I came back and accepted what happened, I donated my lost parts for medical research at the Lover Institute. Since then I've been recovering slowly, taking care of my life and getting back to safe health. The one problem that led to my disease was my obsession with chocolate. I paid for cocoa beans from the Amazon to be sent to the finest Belgian chocolaters on a monthly basis, but I completely gave it up for my health. Recently though, after talking with my doctor, he condoned me to be able to have some chocolate again, but only a small amount, which lucky for me I already had picked out. Exclusive restaurant that specialized in desserts. I was a guest on my friend's behalf. Together we were welcomed into the Gothic-style manor kitchen where you were served for an experience. We were with a group of 7, led in by a host taking us through the courses. The first course was crispy bitter cocoa bacon with a dark glaze. I knew this was wrong of me to indulge in such risky treats, but it was the first time in years, so I allowed it. I asked the host what type of bacon they used, because it didn't taste like the pig variety. It's an aged jerky that had been soaked for a week in wine. It's not a common meat, but we have a fine supplier in the city. The next course was a chocolate gelatin like flan, again glazed with that deliciously bitter dark red sauce. Since these were such flavors I hadn't tasted before, I asked what they used. Gelatin in a fine powder, made from the marrow and bone of bovine feet or bones. We choose the finest meat available that's tender and fat. Most of our meat ingredients are aged at least 1 year. Our final course came out, which was a seared, dark and soft meat, with a strong irony flavor, like a mix between foie gras and beef. The portion was surprisingly small, and cooked in the chocolate dark sauce again upon sautéed mushrooms. You'll have to tell me where you get this meat. It's so delicious I'd love to know the recipes. I asked. Our technique is from ancient Mayan practices of serving meat with chocolate. The internal organs of the animal were delicacies taken fresh from the body, but we prefer to age and cure our meat, but soak the kidneys in brine. We get our supplies daily from the Lover Corporation. The second story, contaminated water. I always have hot green tea in the morning. I get excited about consuming something beneficial to my health. I think it helps offset anything negative I put in my body. It started recently. My live-in girlfriend started racing out of bed early in the morning, staying gone for a couple of hours, then getting back in bed. She said she had diarrhea a lot. Something about irritable bowel syndrome. I don't know. I know she wasn't eating right. I also know that our relationship was in the shitter, and she's just hanging around my place because she can't find a place to stay. I'm pretty sure she hates me now. After years of companionship, I probably shouldn't have cheated on her to me. A fuck is a fuck, but I love her. She can't understand the difference or what it's like to be a young man like me. I guess I love her because I feel the need to help her. She always seems helpless and unstable, as if she couldn't take care of herself on her own. I know, that's bad of me to say, but it's true with her. I work a lot. She doesn't have a job because she has failed to keep one. She keeps the house clean and washes my clothes, so I don't mind it so much. Well, back to the stuff that has happened. My morning tea had been tasting a little bit off. I can't explain the taste, it just tasted wrong. But I didn't feel sick from it or anything. Nothing seemed unusual except that my girl was really sick. She was in bed for days and I was really worried about her. She refused to see a doctor. Said it was just something that had to pass. In hindsight, a lot of toilet paper did go missing, so I suppose she was telling the truth. She never got better 3 nights ago. She told me why she was sick. It's true, she was pregnant for 3 months. She miscarried the child. She said she passed the child in the shower while I was at work. You could imagine my surprise. She went on to explain that when it happened, she lost control of her thoughts and actions, only thinking about how she could make this event hurt me. She unscrewed the line to the water heater and stuffed the dead fetus up into the tank where it has rested in its water grave for over a week, just to make you feel this like I do, she said. After a long, painfully emotional argument, she finally agreed to go to the hospital. I called an ambulance and she's been gone for 3 nights now. She's doing better physically, but the doctors are sending her to a psychiatric hospital when she is deemed physically capable. The authorities are searching the Trashan landfill site to find the remains of the baby. It's morning of the 4th day, and I'm sitting here with my hot green tea. I've grown accustomed to the flavor of my only child, ever spoiling in the water. I've always thought my morning ritual was meaningful, yet now it means more than anything. This tea is a part of me and her. I miss her. I would have taken care of this baby and her all the same. Now that I know, every shower I take and every dish that I wash is a ritual of being close to my child. I haven't washed my clothes at home since I found out. It's a waste. The faucet seemed a little clogged when I filled my cup this morning, so I unscrewed the tip of the faucet and was surprised to see my little baby's hand in the piece. So tiny, stark white. I held it. I'll have to collect the rest very carefully. I'm making a little box so I can have a place to collect my child. I'll store it in the freezer until then. I'll just sip my tea with a watchful eye. The 3rd story. Check the camera. I moved into my house 5 years ago. In the last 2 years there have been strange things happening. It all started in October 2004. I noticed strange footsteps but shrugged them off, thinking there was probably an explanation for them. My 16-year-old son, Michael, slept in the only downstairs bedroom while his little sister and I have our own bedrooms upstairs. I would wake up in the morning with Michael sleeping on my bedroom floor. He, at first, heard strange noises and soon saw shadows moving across the room. He came running from his room one day because a plug flew from the outlet. I put it down to electrical fault. She has felt something brushing him. 2. I have been with my partner, Mike, for a year now, and he moved in with me in April. At first, Mike couldn't sleep with the noise of someone moving about up and down the stairs. He always checked, but there was never anything there. He would always say, "Did you hear that?" I was just used to hearing them. For months ago, Mike was sitting at the computer beside Michael's bedroom door and he jumped up in pain. He lifted up his shirt and found a deep scratch on his stomach. There were no sharp instruments about, and no possible explanation for this. The computer always acts up for him, but no one else in the family. I am also catching shadows out of the corner of my eye and I've been putting it down to my imagination. We were lying in our bed 2 weeks ago watching TV. I lie nearest the doorway and caught a shadow going into my daughter's bedroom. Mike jumped up and told me he saw it for once. I was completely freaked out. I had to sleep on the other side of the bed. Everything was forgotten, but 2 days ago Mike was sitting at the computer again, holding a piece of drawing paper. In his lap the paper hit him in the eye somehow, and took a chunk from his cornea. He was admitted to the hospital and is in complete agony. He cannot explain how the paper hit his eye from the angle he was holding it on his lap, but we know that even if he tried to do it to himself, it would be impossible. At first, I thought it was just a mischievous ghost of some kind, but now I am starting to get very worried with this thing assaulting my partner. It is no longer mischievous, but evil. But evil. I wonder if it is the shadow that has always been with me, that I have always seen from the corner of my eye. If it's something that was already in the house. 2 weeks ago, my son came in screaming from the bathroom saying he'd seen a bloody face wrapped in a dirty sheet. He killed himself last Friday, and we are all devastated beyond words. His suicide note said, "I got it, Mom, check the camera."